we had a Prestivant with 100 HP all the way up to like 4-6. It's such a great spot to win, but it was Kurum never even proccing Last Stand without an Augment. Like the most unlikely candidate to come just win that over Prestivant and Burt.
Looking at Kurum's spot, right, he was on Yone 1, Olaf 1, rolling it down, not even hitting any of them, and then, Mort Dog blessed Kurum with the scoped weapons Prismatic. Didn't need anything more at that point besides just hitting the Yone 3, did it, eventually the Olaf, and really had a statement game. This is a narrow line, we were talking about maybe Kurum wasn't as familiar with that one specifically, but still demonstrated extreme prowess on that line.
Welcome back to the Dragonlance North American Regional Finals. I'm Casanova, joined by Admirable and Crowan for the first time today.
Game 4 of day 2. We are now in the second half of this one. And the first thing that I'm going to bring up to point here, Crowan, is the fact that this lobby is nothing to joke with right now. I'm looking at Kurumx being in here. I'm looking at Ramblin being in here. Pretty decisive players. And Asa and Kurumx really the two I want to point out. These players have deliberate lines where they value tempo very highly. I feel like if there's one lobby where you don't necessarily have as much time to put a team together, this is certainly one of the ones I would look at. There's a lot of pressure going to be coming through on tempo here.
Especially Kurum, one of the players that I think you highlight his strength. One of the best things about him is going to be that tempo. Kurum able to hold it together after, yesterday being off on a not great foot, but recovering. And that's also the other really big thing to look at when it comes to Kurum is the momentum moving forward.
Try another opener with no econ, but it is what it is. Early line commitment from Kurumx, and I guess that's where Kurum is going to be the most favorable. Like we were saying, it's these kind of narrower lines where he's going to be just slamming items, playing for tempo. Does not get to carry the streak forward, however, unfortunately.
There's a lot of pairs sitting on the bench.
Yeah. Chance to look at all of the augments. There are a couple emblems. There's the warrior, there's the cabs we were talking about, and of course the guardian for dish soap.
I feel like I always have trouble telling if that's cluttered mind or clear mind.
Oh, it looks like cluttered there. It's the the many heads, the little circle above it. Melt going for cluttered. Getting a little dizzy there.
Yeah, Yeah, sometimes it takes a
Here is
bit of
so
time
big.
for the cluttered as well. You don't necessarily always have your bench filled up right away. But I feel like Cluttered Mind is just such a strong augment to have. You get so much gold rolling at a certain point, and your levels are just miles ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to keep pairs in your bench as well. That's kind of the big thing when you compare the clear mind to the cluttered, is that clear, obviously, you cannot hold anything. You have to consider, oh, am I leveling up or am I getting rid of these pairs? But you can hold everything. The cluttered, sure, your econ maybe suffers a little bit, but usually it's going to be worth it.
Prestivit and Asa sitting at the top of the line right now. Bertosaurus falling down into the 70s. Milk Guy following the same spot. Ramblin breaks the loss streak here. I'm seeing some things shape up right now.
Yeah, I think this is a spot that Bryce mentioned earlier for Milk, that if there's any player that's comfortable with going on a loss streak and then recovering, stepping back later on, it is going to be Milk. Has done that at Worlds before, leading that into an overall third place finish in the tournament. So not too worried for Milk. You know, there's still, again, meta HP preservation, but Milk's the player that can do it.
I think the Cluttered Mind is really playing towards that role as well. It's the early investment of life for the late payoff of strength.
Yeah. Taking a loss.
Another hit down to the 60s.
Really
into
rich
stage two.
though. That calculated loss gets good level 6 already. 50 gold free reroll in this round. Bert still being on an okay HP number. 66 kind of low, but very recoverable, especially if he hits a Volibear too soon. To assess your board strength relative to the rest of the lobby is such a difficult TFT skill. But Bert did it.
Hit. Now Ramblin and Prestivit. Prestivit still, the lobby is his right now.
Well, so a lot of players leaning towards this Guardian line.
The more and more I've seen from this patch and in this tournament, the more and more I'm thinking that maybe Guardians is the favorable front line.
Oh, definitely. I mean, what else can really compare to it, right? It's not much. It's like if you get an end game really cap board, sure, like a Terra solo front line or something like that.
Yeah, but when you're gonna put a Malphite and a Jackson play, it's great for right now, but later on, you know what? Let's get some better stuff in play.
Malphite and Silas, if you're thinking about Soam, but yeah, no, it doesn't quite stand up to it.
Kurumx with Last Stand, I think, is a really big deal in this one, and I'm looking at Goobums having double up on the front line now.
Okay, interesting. The Valmage and the Knife's Edge getting a bunch of stats there being in the first two rows.
I love the augments that warp your perception on the game and change the way that you're going to play in general, and I'm feeling them all across the board right now, except for Mason, or except for Mason on this one. He's just got some strong ones.
Hey, that's why augments are going to be a more permanent addition to TFT moving forward, as Mort has told us in that little video just a few days ago. People love augments and love how they shape the game. Players can show so much skill expression around them. Kurumx picking a risky one with the last stand, but it makes sense for the composition, Admirable. It's the reroll onto Yone and Olaf, but not hitting. It is the warrior commit from 2-1. Still has a long way to go, but even if Kurumx goes low, goes to 1 HP, it can just be a snap all the way up to first when those stats roll through.
Last stand not only is protecting you from that final hit that you take that'll knock you out of the lobby, but on top of that, it is just loading your board up with damage and lifesteal, and I feel like that is such a big one. However, in order to really get to that point, you do have to 2-star your team, and Kurumx has been rolling here, and just Pear sitting on the bench.
Yeah, he's not rolling so deep. 45 gold, but being on 3-5, it's a little bit awkward. We saw Burt on the other side in that matchup, having the Volibear 2 online right now. Ooh, see a Nomsy. It is Mage Nomsy in this game.
And now the last round of Stage 3, I feel like this 4-1 is going to be a heater of a competition for who's gonna pace the rest of this board, because it's still Prestiven's world right now, and then it cascades its way down. Milk sitting at 46 at the bottom, Kurumx is next at 54, Birdosaurus right after at 56, Dish Soap right there at 57. Prestiven's just dominating right now.
It has to be Prestiven's world, right? It has to make it forward to tomorrow to qualify for Worlds, and then be the Set 7 Worlds winner. Would expect nothing less.
Kurumx, I feel like this is maybe just some big misses that are coming in. It could be the fact that just the augments aren't quite there. You've been kind of pushed into this very niche line. It certainly, I don't think that Warriors reroll on 6 is the style that Kurumx usually demonstrates. It is a pretty straightforward, get to level 8, build out a strong board, push the other players out.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Kurum in a little bit of perhaps an uncomfortable position, especially when rolling down on level 6 and not hitting the pairs, right? There was a pair of Yones, there's the pair of Olafs, but not hitting as much as he would have liked. We see Olaf 2 coming through right there, but Milk has a huge pickup with an Itis 2.
Yep.
Yone for Kurum as well. Milk levels to 8 already.
Look at that sidebar. Kurum finally finds a Yone, the Braum crops in.
Yeah.
So maybe some strength now from Kurum's side, but it feels like everyone is just fighting tooth and nail to make sure that they're preserving HP.
Well, a lot to talk about there. That was Kurumx's second Yone 2, so just 3 off at worst.
Now it's the 4-2 augment. Kurumx taking another hit. Milk
What am I
taking
saying
another
here?
hit. Milk, I mean, I didn't see any gold there. Prismatic spiking up.
Wait, is this golden egg time?
Oh, it is never a golden egg time.
I feel like since I already have RC, it's just CB3 here. But I get Omnivamp from last stand as well. Really good. 2-unit loss. Pretty close. I probably have to lose Spell Sword, honestly. I don't think it matters.
Ooh, Kurumx hits Yone 3 on the sidebar there, and still has a decent amount of HP to work with. Doesn't get the Zeeks on.
I shouldn't find Yasuo now,
there, so a
ASAP.
little bit of a misplay.
Is it?
Yes.
Outside of GS.
Double Rage Blade, who needs a Zeeks? The Guardian, Yone here, not able to even come close to holding the board versus Kurumx. Yone in the back line right now, just cranking away at the board. I'm seeing a scoped weapons. That's the prismatic scope. That's the ideal item
Hit.
for Yone.
That is huge. That could have single-handedly been the augment to save Kurumx.
I can actually win out.
Run here.
This game's low-key at first.
On the Yone wants to make that into a
I
giant
plus bow, that's so
slayer.
good.
Dish Soap has a heater of a bench that's there. Ramblin and Prestivit now sitting at the top.
Alright, this game's like you first.
Still at 100 HP. Took the
What?
swift shot on the prismatic side. Ramblin that's the my head is
battery.
gone. Blue battery, thank you. I was like, the thing that gives you the mana.
thing that gives you the mana, that's what Ramblin wants. That's what we'll always want.
what
with
he
the
always
AV
wants.
lines. Somebody like uplink and blue battery.
I really still have my eye on Kurumx here. Picking up Last Stand and picking up the prismatic scoped here is, that is like the best thing that can happen for the Yone line.
All these augments are so good for the Yone line.
Like, I want to go 8 to find Yasuo, but I'm also close to some 3 stars. I'm also close to 2 upgrades, so...
Source at 23, Goobs took a loss. This one, Kurum starting to build up a win streak, and it just feels like Prestivit is miles ahead. Still has not lost a round. We're about to be in stage 5.
Pressman's just
I think
farming.
I
This is
rolled it.
Disneyland for him right now. Pressman, how are you doing this?
I think I rolled 8. I don't think I rolled 7 anymore.
Wayne being the Dragon Mancer carry, even without running any other Dark Flights. I have not seen this tech before, Admirable.
Nice, there's a GS diff. Huge GS gap. This isn't awful. No Pantheons. So, fuck.
Still alive though. Asa down to 2, Burt down to 5, Milk picks up a win, Goobens picks up a win, Dish Soap takes a hit, Prestivit, the king can bleed, and Kurumx now with a win streak.
If I hit Olaf 3, Yasuo 1, I'm pretty sure I win the game. Just need 1 Yasuo, 1 Olaf. So close to so much.
Alexa getting knocked out in
One more.
8th place right now. Milk joins Kurumx on the win streak. I'm seeing a lot more 2-stars come through on Goobum's side, but is that going to be enough?
Might not be. Asa in 8th. A very devastating
One
loss
Yasuo, one
there.
Olaf, 2 Pantheon, or 1 Yasuo, 1 Olaf, 1 Pantheon, and 2 Brahms.
Four players sub 10. This is such a tight game.
I need
No
gold.
room for mistakes for so many of them.
So, get up a defensive item. Bertosaurus, what is Bert looking for from this spot?
He's thinking any wrong decision could cost Bert
I
a
guess it's
chance to earn a spot
5
at
plus.
the World Championship. Picks up the Sunfire.
Guild actually gives me some
Another
money back.
chalice for Ramblin as well. My goodness.
2%? Oh, 3%. One off everything?
This is
Gets
just
the win.
Oh, Milk holds on as well. Dish Soap going
Dish
to be
Soap.
eliminated. 7th place.
Set 1. I mean, this guy's so good because I can't do anything versus Zara. So I need to kill this guy before he gets like Giga
First
strong.
time today, barely in
Pockets and
5th.
Reforge.
Top 4 situation, and players get a moment to breathe as the neutral round comes through.
I mean, I think that Bert has hit the turning point here. I think
Very
the
much
one
so.
player that might be able to challenge this is Kurumx right now.
True. Kurum with the reroll, Yone, and the Olaf. Triple augments that favor the line of play. But Prestovant was win streaking for the first 3 stages of the game.
Oh shit.
Has not lost in so many rounds, not Olaf 3 yet,
Oh
but
my.
this giant
Oh
slayer
my.
Yone slays the giant that is Ao Shin.
Dead.
The last stand hasn't even come into play yet. Prestovant down to 5. hasn't even used the second augment yet.
Didn't even need it.
Oh,
Olaf
boy.
3 comes through as well. If he wasn't already strong
GG's.
enough, this might be what Kurum needed to seal the deal here in Game 4. Prestovent, one loss away from being eliminated.
How does he beat this?
I think the answer is he doesn't.
Double
Admirable.
Zeeks onto the Yone.
Shyvana might be able to get into the back line. Maybe some Varus 3 magic can happen with the CC. It has to start right now. Shyvana does land in the back line, starting to breathe, but the Archangels has not scaled up enough yet. It's
no.
not going to get to a second cast by no means. These units don't have to move. They're just going to town.
Varus with the...
Varus?
Oh,
No.
not quite.
Kurum X going to take
All right, we're still in it,
Game
baby.
4
We're still in
style,
it.
Not even needing the last stand.